So Violent Night is the latest attempt to try an R-rated Christmas film with David Harbour of Stranger Things fame playing a much more adult Saint Nick. And the film starts with Santa drunk on Christmas Eve. He's tired of Christmas and he's just drunkenly trying to get through one more year. Things go very wrong when he delivers presents to the one house that's currently being robbed by a military squad who are holding a family hostage. And so to save this little girl and Christmas, Santa takes care of the problem the only way he knows how, by brutally killing off each of the thugs on his naughty list. Now, at face value, R-rated Santa Claus seems like a fairly cheap hook. The initial premise is essentially just Die Hard with John McClane replaced with Santa. But honestly, seeing Santa kill a whole bunch of people was really all I needed this film to be. But I was actually really pleasantly surprised at how well directed the action was. This film was produced by David Leitch, the co-director of John Wick, and you can really feel the influence of that style of combat. Scenes are really well choreographed, they're shot in wide, and there's a really fun simulated one shot of Santa going toe-to-toe with a guy. It's just fun. Seeing that level of effort put into the action really helps take this film from beyond just a cheap gimmick. And that's what really caught me off guard, because that's all I expected this film to be. But no, they really utilized Santa as a character, not just a prop. I'd expected they took a fairly so-so action script, shoved Santa in it, and now they can market it as a Christmas film. But it's actually the utilization of Christmas that really elevates this material. David Harbour as Santa is really compelling. You get pieces of Santa's backstory, and they have a pretty cool interpretation that is interesting, but also helps explain why Santa would be so effective at physical combat. It actually makes sense. The script is also smart enough not to explain too much, and it leaves a little bit up to Christmas magic. John Leguizamo plays the main bad guy, and I really like him as an actor. He just has a good screen presence, and his character here hates Christmas. He's the Scrooge, and I just find it really funny how this guy can't stand Christmas. He has this whole thing planned, and it's ruined by the actual Santa. It was very amusing to me. The story running alongside is about a young girl whose parents are split up, but they're pretending to be together to keep the peace for one last Christmas. And a lot of the film is the girl communicating with Santa on a walkie-talkie, and it's that relationship which really gives the film so much more heart than I expected it to have. Santa really is too old for this shit, but there's no way he'll let anything happen to this little girl. She's really compelling and is the emotional anchor that helps give Santa an actual arc in this film. Meanwhile, the rest of the family in this film are awful people. There's the super rich grandmother, the awful alcoholic sister, and her dumb actor boyfriend, and then their social media obsessed son. And it works to set up conflict, but at times it makes it really hard to care that they're being robbed because they're just such assholes. With the naughty or nice thing being referenced so much, I thought them being bad people was going to eventually be relevant to the plot, but it's mostly just for comedy, and that's really part of the problem because it's the scenes with the entire family that feel the weakest. It's with them the script feels like it's trying really hard to be funny. There's just lines that don't feel very natural. It's like the writer's trying to force a joke out of them. The worst offender for this is the actor boyfriend. He's really unfunny and just feels quite exaggerated, which is strange because Santa in this feels so grounded. David Harbour doesn't play him with a wink or a nod, he plays it really quite seriously, which is what makes his performance work so well. Meanwhile, the social media influencer son just feels so over the top. I'm just so sick and tired of the trope of the social media obsessed child. It already feels so overdone, and it's just a really big pet peeve of mine with how badly films engage with social media. I think Knives Out is the only film I've seen use that trope well, but thankfully the kid is a small part of this film. This movie takes a lot of inspiration from other Christmas films, most explicitly Die Hard and Home Alone, and it never reaches the high of those films, but it is really satisfying to see some R-rated Home Alone booby traps. The final kill in this film is so inventive and satisfying. Apparently due to the financial success of this film, there are plans for a sequel. Now I don't know if there's enough here to really squeeze out a second film, but I am sort of curious based on the backstory they gave Santa, how this universe would incorporate elves and Mrs. Claus. Overall, this was a pretty fun time. It delivered exactly what I wanted, it had a good amount of heart, and I'd give this a light 7. Thanks for watching. For more film stuff, subscribe.